Record on this. We are live on LinkedIn Live. My name is Audrey Grabesic, and I'm here on Offsite Dirt with Karen Benner and Sean St. Amour. Half of our team is here. The other half are doing amazing projects, working their little tails off, and unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but I've got the best in the business with us. So welcome to Offsite Dirt. We are community, bringing together people from the offsite construction industry, along with high performance, builders, construction, events. We not only cover the offsite solution industry, but we also try to cover the construction industry and bringing together some of those experts to explain different tools of using for building and expanding how we are connecting. So again, I'm certainly happy to be here. This is September, the month of September. We can't even believe it's here. And just a little update on what has happened for me is Offsite Dirt was actually involved with a organization for flashing the national or the International Flashing Awareness Day. That was August 26th, and it was all about being aware of flashing detail. Aaron Jones with Big Dog Construction really created this event 3 years ago, and we were such a proud sponsor to be involved with that. People indicated videos, they showed up. Sashco was one of the sponsors. We had Benjamin Opdyke is a sponsor. We had Cigna, North America, and we had Sashco. So it was a wonderful display of supporting companies and just an outstanding amount of support with videos and education and really understanding how important it is to keep water out of the intrusions of homes through windows and doors and using flashing in order to make that happen. So it's really about building better. And it was very exciting to see how we're expanding in this marketplace and bringing in education, as cool as it was, to doing something so unique. So we are very proud of that. I am going to wrap it up on the end, but I'm going to bring it over to Sean. He's going to tell us what's been going on in the Canada area. Sean, how have you been? What's going on in September?
It has been a busy August. I'm glad you highlighted the major event. It's kind of like the unofficial holiday of the building industry where, yes, on August 26th, every year, and yes, this is the third year that you mentioned, that the team over there at Big Dog with Aaron and Gina, and boy, they are a powerhouse of getting awareness about flashing. Now, we're talking about making sure that our shelters are built a certain way that water goes down out, because if we build a building and if water is getting inside, why bother building a building? Because it'll just rot, deteriorate, and we're not going to have a comfortable, healthy, energy efficient building when we're not managing water. And ideally, if we're watertight, then we're typically airtight. And then it works towards that high performance type goal. So an amazing day. Love the growth. You know, that we talk about growing at a 10x factor, and I believe they hit some really good numbers that kind of ticks off the 10x growth that they were working on. Ideally, we're doing flashing and focusing on flashing every day, but it was definitely a special day to highlight that. And so, check out the YouTube page called Flash Me, where there's lots of videos that were brought in from all over North America. And again, we do get some great content and conversations with our international community, but we definitely made it international because we typically see American and Canadian builders coming together. But again, we've got our friends in the UK and everywhere else. So a very special day. So I did have a chance to travel abroad with my family, went on vacation to Spain and Paris. And so I got to see a passive house in Paris, which is always fun to take some time and see something different and unique. But in my world, it has been busy. We're doing a lot of work at Clay Construction. We've got some amazing projects in the pipeline. We're working on our airtightness strategies to create repeatable systems. So as much as we're learning and educating, it's also how do we educate our own teams so that we get that really nice growth, and that, again, that we've got good continuous improvement within all of our facilities. So in other things that are going on, our good friend Mark, Mark is always out and about. We never know where Mark is, but this week he is in Denver, Colorado, right near Sashco, which again was our great sponsor of Flash Me Day. He and other individuals are connecting with them because they are one of the sponsors of the Building Science Symposium. And so other big names like Stephen Basic and Jake Bruden and Ben Bogie and others are all there connecting with the building community in the Colorado to showcase high performance techniques and make sure that the industry is building better shelters and ideally getting to that high performance type standard. So great education happening in Denver this week. And then within a month, the rest of the Passive House community will be in Denver for the Passive House Network and talk about education. The Mighty Icebox Challenge is currently underway, where we're taking a code box and a Passive House box and putting a whole bunch of ice inside of it and testing it over a period of 2 weeks. And so we'll see who the champion is. But I can tell you right now, in about, I think we're at about 15 or 16 contests, we still have the undefeated champion of the Icebox world. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I'm pretty sure you can guess which one wins challenge over challenge. So that's an exciting thing happening in Denver right now. A lot of stuff happening kind of in that world. And then for Offsite Dirt, I got to hang out with good friends Aaron Jones and also Joe and Mark. And on High Performance Build, where we talked more about comfort and what high performance means to comfort. How do we experience comfort in our homes? Because humans, we experience different things, and understanding the temperature differences of how we use our shelter and how, if we make it high performance, how we get to enjoy a comfortable home. So that's a few things. Maybe I'll turn it over to Karen. And if we have more time, I could talk about a few more things that have happened even the last week. So busy world over here in Vancouver, British Columbia, and lots of good things happening in the high performance world across the planet.
Yay, thanks, Sean. It's really good to be here again. I was, as Audrey mentioned, we've got a couple folks missing tonight because we're all so busy. That was the case for me last month. So it's good to be back. Good to see everybody out there on Offsite Dirt Land. And gosh, what do I have to talk about? Well, for the month of September, one event that I'm very excited about, less than 2 weeks away now, our local Green Building Alliance, which is our local chapter of the USGBC, actually the first nonprofit organization in the country that was founded to focus exclusively on greening a region's commercial buildings. So effectively, the very first USGBC chapter happened right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're celebrating 30 years of GBA. And so I will be at their Emerald Evening event on Thursday night, the 21st of this month, wearing probably uncomfortable shoes, but smiling and being very excited to interact with a lot of folks here in Pittsburgh in our green building community. And that is happening at the Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens, which is one of the greenest building campuses in the world. They've got buildings that are Living Future certified, LEED certified, every certification you can get out there, and headed up by a team of people that are very committed to sustainability. So really exciting to have the event there as well. And one of the reasons that I was not able to join in August is because I was cramming like for an exam, like before a vacation, for what was effectively my summer vacation, but was also very focused on the world of high performance, and in actually the next level of high performance, and that's regenerative real estate development, regenerative building and design. And this was the gathering, we refer to it as. It was not a conference. We call it a gathering of very intimate. There were less than 40 of us there from all over the country, actually some international folks as well, to talk about the regenerative real estate development world. And that includes not just buildings, but also really great conversations around agriculture, between the built environment and agriculture. Combined, those two industries have about a 70% ownership of the impact of carbon emissions on our planet. So two huge sectors of our economy and our world that we can be focused on building better, farming better, living better, being in community better. And this week that I spent with these folks was absolutely amazing. It was just phenomenal. the commitment that everybody had to learning and experiencing and inspiring each other. Several people talked about feeling like they weren't alone, that, you know, finding out that we've got people all across the country that can help and support each other in this work back in their cities. So I will also, for anybody that's listening, anybody that wants to start a regenerative practitioner group with me here in Pittsburgh, I am on a mission. I've already reached out to one person. He said, yes, we've got a meeting in the works. If you want to be a part of it, let me know. I was really, really excited to have so much in-person time at that gathering and really craving an opportunity to do more of that with people here. And then what else? So because I wasn't here on Offsite Dirt in August, I will just kind of go back in time and share that the August drop of my monthly show, Building Better with Karen, was dropped the first Tuesday of August. And I had the opportunity to interview Nicole Tisdale with Simbi Homes, based in the DC market. Simbi Homes is doing amazing things. They've been doing amazing things for years. They continue to be doing amazing things. They are currently building a project that they call the Queen of Zero, which is a rebuild of a Victorian home that had burned in a tragic fire in 2020. And the homeowner said, I'm going to rebuild another Victorian home, but I'm going to build it net zero with Simbi. And so Nicole is not only spearheading that in terms of her role as CEO of Simbi, but she's also partnered with the Journal of Light Construction and is sharing updates on this home and their process and the details and products that they're using all along the way. So she is educating us as they are doing this. And some other great things that she has going on, that they have going on, if you're interested in going back to that interview, they've started a consulting business where they're able to help kind of be a Sherpa to homeowners in the DC market that are looking to do energy efficiency upgrades and weatherization, helping them to connect them to contractors. And then they're also doing a lot of great work around training of our workforce, opening up a remodel project, basically having an open house for an active deep energy retrofit renovation that will be taking place in a home in DC, and allowing homeowners to come in, potential clients to come in, see what's going on, contractors, designers, anybody that wants to get an insider's view on that. So definitely lots of good stuff in my interview with Nicole. And then I will also share the update. I did mention this in our July live, that I was helping to orchestrate a big modular home factory tour right again here in Pittsburgh, PA. We have some amazing concept homes being built in a factory about an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh, and through a generous grant from the National Association of Realtors, our local chapter was able to put together this tour to include taking a coach bus from Pittsburgh to the factory and back. So anybody that wants to participate in that, you will have the benefit of being able to rest, work, network, do whatever you want instead of paying attention to driving. And we'll get you there safely. You'll have an amazing day of touring the factory floor, lots of presentations about these concept homes and all of the studies that went into them. And then just building your network, finding out who else is doing the work that you want to be doing here in our market, and sharing knowledge. So that's taking place October 6th. And again, that's going up to Strattonville, Pennsylvania. That's, I think, what I have to share.
That's wonderful, Karen. There are so many things going on, and it's amazing how fast time flies with planning. I remember you talking about that event in July, and now, oh my gosh, it's going to be here in a couple of weeks. Big planning, lots of opportunity there to learn. So just a couple of updates on my side. We have many more really cool things that are happening in the offsite construction industry on my side of the world. There is on September 19th in Denver, Colorado, the Offsite Construction Expo that is done by the Modular Building Institute team. Also, our team, Sneha, actually did an interview with Robert Johnson, who's been in the business for 40 years. He is the business development manager for FrameCAD. And many of you may not know, but FrameCAD is an equipment company that does steel frame solutions for offsite. Really interesting conversation. She did a beautiful job on this interview. And hopefully, if you're thinking about steel frame instead of a wood frame product, you can watch this interview. She did a delightful job and had some really good takeaways. Also, Anthony Goudet is with us, and he is talking about solutions and being in the offsite construction industry and what he's seeing as a developer and investor, and also using the product himself in California. So don't make sure to check out on September 13th on that one. We also have, for high performance build, we have SK Collaborations and our collaborative. Mark did an outstanding job with them in finding out about their architecture and how they're building these amazing buildings and using these resources. And at the end of the month, I've brought back the Offsite Construction Series again with Global Build Tech. Dennis McMahon is from Southeast Asia, putting together these united forces to doing offsite solutions. Really interesting conversation. And as Sean had mentioned, with his interview for High Performance Build with Aaron and Joe Kanapaki, that one is on September 28th. So as you can see, we've got a huge list of things that are going on in September. And we're also including a lot of articles about modular construction, the benefits, what to kind of understand about it, and really pulling it together so people can have a greater knowledge of why these system build products are coming coming to order and coming more popular. As Karen is taking a whole team out to a modular factory, more and more people are starting to get interested, and the industry is growing. But before, I'd love for Sean to kind of give us a recap. He's been on a panel and been a speaker. And so Sean, tell us a little bit about the events you were at and what you were discussing.
Yeah, it's been a fun week. On Wednesday, I was on the Pacific Southerner talking about air tightness. And so what they do every beginning of the month is kind of a one-on-one series of a certain topic about passive house. And so I was able to do that. And then this weekend, it was pretty cool because this is where we're starting to see collaboration of different industries. And this conference was called the Fully Charged Conference. They've got about 5 of them across the world. They stopped into Vancouver because, we're kind of nice that we have a pretty beautiful city. But the electric car market is huge here in Vancouver. And so we know that electric cars could be a battery, and a battery could be used in our houses. And so the fact that there's a big push for electrification in our homes, and the fact that we're looking at not only reducing the emissions in our homes, but with our cars, it was just a really cool collaboration that the Fully Charged community does with their processes. And so I got to talk about some basic hacks that we should be doing on our homes to reduce the energy that's required. And then we kind of talked about some of the other steps that need to occur between building a home or renovating or retrofitting our homes, and what that could do to reducing our emissions. So really cool to join up with another group that, of course, you wouldn't think, like, why would we be connecting with high performance homes and electric vehicles? But we're all seeing the benefits of collaborating. And again, I love coming up to the Offsite Dirt community because, right now you're hearing from me and Audrey and Karen, and there's still so many other contributors that couldn't make it today, as Audrey said, because they're busy working their tails off and doing amazing work. And again, can't wait to get connected again, because Karen's got some great stuff, and we get to live kind of vicariously through each other as we're working hard on the things that we're passionate about. But as a collective, it's a pretty passionate group. So really lucky to be here. Audrey, thanks again for organizing this. Karen, always great to see what you're doing. And again, we got other contributors to bring back in October of all the amazing things that they're up to.
Agreed. So there's some really interesting information out there, and we keep seeing these new factories pop up. Cover was one that's actually built in LA that is newly being designed, and they're going to be doing a panel system. So it seems as though factories are coming around and being designed, and we're starting to see these influences with innovation. But just a couple of really cool facts. So the very first modular or very first type of offsite solution home was in what year? I'm going to have Karen take a guess and Sean take a guess.
Wow. First off-site homes. I mean, I feel like Sears was doing them in the 40s. So I'll guess sometime in the 40s.
It's a very good
And
guess. Sean?
yeah, Karen, I agree with you. Good old Sears and Reebok. But I think they were earlier. So I'm gonna go a few years before you. I'm gonna go kind of like the Price is Right number. I'm gonna go 1901. That's my
Oh,
answer today.
man, you guys are so close, but listen to this. So in 1624, there
Whoa.
was a American fisherman commissioned to do an English constructed home that was prefabricated, and they shipped it overseas to Cape Ann. And here is the funny thing. We are talking about Sears because that's really the promise of what everybody knows about offsite solutions. So you're both very much correct. Sears actually started the kit home in 1908 to 1940. It was hugely celebrated, and that first home cost $160.
Wow.
It's amazing.
1901. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and then here's another interesting fact for the global market of modular construction in 2020, it was $106 billion. And they are projecting the global increase in 2026 to be $153 billion worth of building.
Wow. Amazing.
So it
Yeah,
is
I mean,
increasing, right? We're seeing
yeah.
this big incline, and we talk about it because we have this great collective group, and we're very passionate about really good building systems and high performance and having these healthy environments for us. But there is a movement. And I think even with Passive House, Sean, how are you seeing it?
Oh, you talk about factory starting. I remember about 3 years ago, I said, you're going to see a new like prefab passive house factory starting every year. And not only are we seeing one, but we're seeing 2 to 3 now. Even in Vancouver, we've got a new one coming, which is exciting. And then all of our current ones, they're expanding left, right, and center. Collective Carpentry is going to triple. BC Passive House just finished their big expansion. So it's really exciting to see here in Canada where things are at. But then also that the markets are opening up. And so we've got Collective Carpentry, for example, they deliver all across the West Coast. And they're partnering with some amazing builders. You talk about collaborators where you have this amazing integrated design team. So structural engineers, architects, designers, all together to put in their efforts and work as a collective to create really amazing buildings that are coming fast and furious to the marketplace. Because you said earlier too, we do have a workforce issue. And so we do need to figure out how to scale these up. And of course, offsite construction is one of the best answers to help out our workforce.
Sean,
Yeah.
you did an interview that's coming up in, I believe it's going to be coming up in November, and it's all about inspiration and really how inspiration started. Can you give our audience a little bit of background on maybe your very first factory and why that was so special?
Yeah. So again, I don't have to go back all the way to 1901. I actually have to go back to.
Oh, Sean, your mic went off really quick.
And see a company called Balford's. And to me, this has been the gold standard for 20 years now, where they are building about 170 units in a factory, and they're all about low embodied carbon materials, low embodied carbon operations of the buildings. And so to see that level of quality and precision, the fact that that company had been doing prefab for 35 years and they've been in business for 123 years, 5th generation ownership, and the level of details of marketing and sales and customer service blows you out of the world. And so I've been able to go back there a few times. And so I speak about that. So pin that for the future months, but you'll figure out how I got inspired about offsite construction.
Yeah, it was
it
was a great thing. Yes, Karen, come in, please.
Yeah, well, I just want to kind of go back and highlight and underscore what Sean mentioned about the integrated design team and just how critical that is to a high performance build. And what opportunity we have to do that easier and almost forced more so when we are building offsite. You know, the requirement to get together and figure it all out before you go on the line makes such a difference versus, you know, traditional construction, that there's still so much that can be left for interpretation and figuring it out later after you've already started construction. And that's one of the things that I just think is so amazing about the offsite movement, is really kind of forcing everybody to be talking earlier, getting creative, being innovative, asking questions. And that's the other reason that bringing everybody into this world, from, you know, designers, marketers, our clients, right? Let's not forget our clients and homeowners, that we want them to be a part of the process. It really creates a collaborative spirit that I think is really awesome.
I do too, and I love that we are starting to have these conversations and people are interested enough to find out how these steps works, because even though these products, these homes, these buildings, industrialized construction are built in a factory, there are a lot of similarities to traditional construction, but there are not a lot of similarities. And building a team that actually understands that and communicates clearly is really the key, I think, for any successful project, whether it's offsite, on-site, it doesn't really matter. Communication is key and a big factor in that. I have to tell you guys, we are lucky enough to have our sponsor, Wesco, bring some innovative information out for us. And one of the things that Wesco is doing this month is talking with Z Modular. And Z Modular is out of Canada. They're a steel frame modular company, and the integration of how Wesco is working with them. And then a couple of months ago, we did a story with Aris Holding Company, which is here in Georgia, maybe South Carolina. They're another modular factory. And this is the thing that I think is really changing in our offsite community, are developers developing their own product and building their own modular factory to have success on their team. And Aris did a beautiful job at explaining their process and how Wesco, being a distributor, has created these offsite solutions, whether they're electrical, plumbing, they can be lighting. There's so many different materials and opportunities and solutions that Wesco is starting to bring to the offsite solution. And it's kind of like one of those very quiet voices that comes in, these quiet things that are happening behind the scenes. And we're finding these collective partners, like you were talking, Sean, that really increase the value in the way that we build. And it's not just at the factory, it's these collaborative partners that are being able to bring these products from all over the world and integrate them into our building systems.
Yeah, really amazing stuff. And I know we're about to wrap up, but I just want to come back to like language. And Karen, I love how you talked about regenerative, because in kind of my world, you know, I got big on green and then the word became sustainable. And recently I kind of changed my passion, that I really am passionate about resilient prefab passive houses. And you spoke about the fires. BC just got decimated with fires in the month of August. A good project that I was working on burnt down. And so I love how you're talking about the gathering of people and like-minded people. I mean, we all go to conferences, we all do the routine. It's more of like sales approach. You walk in there, you get your brochures, you pack up and you go home and you start filling out your brochures. And nowadays we just get them sent to us. But I really like that word you talked about, a gathering, where all of your friends come together and gather and collaborate. Really like that word. And yeah, I think I might have to change my passion from resilient to regenerative, because that's the next phase as we move away from having to rebuild communities that have been burned down from fires. And I'm looking forward to going to Denver for, again, the Passivos Network Conference because of the Marshall fires, and seeing how that community rebuilt and understanding of how to manage their environment and rebuild. And again, a lot of those builds have been done in offsite construction and high performance. So really looking forward to that. And again, I really like those words you said, Karen, about regenerative and the gathering. Those will land with me for more, that we need to change conferences to gatherings. I like that.
Yeah. It was amazing. I mean, part of the amazingness about it was how much emphasis was on ourselves, right? That it really does start from within. You know, it's our choice every single day that, you know, how we walk the talk, and the little changes that we're making in our language, even as you shared. And so, yeah, I will definitely, I just want to be sure that I gave the shout out when I talked about it earlier. I'm not positive. Latitude Regenerative Real Estate is the community that I belong to. We welcome anyone who wants to join us as a practitioner, real estate agent, developers, architects, everybody, even again, just people that are interested in doing this in their own homes and on their own properties. The theme for the gathering this year was from ownership to stewardship. We've really focused on our roles as stewards of the land, of properties, of the buildings, of our communities, and of ourselves. So it was quite amazing.
Wow, that's really beautiful. And it's so wonderful to see that there is a collective understanding and appreciation for bringing and gathering those people together. Speaking about language, I do agree with you, Sean. I actually had a very interesting conversation last week with a local builder in Savannah, Georgia. And I'm talking to him about offsite construction. And he had no idea what I was talking about until I said prefab. Then he understood it, right? So there's so much to learn about language and prefab or prefab, fabrication. Everybody has just a different mindset of what that means, or industrialized construction or component construction, modular construction, panelized construction. All these are forms of construction, all under this umbrella of offsite. And the reason it's offsite is because the product itself is built in a factory or a manufacturing plant offsite. So that's really where all these conversations direct from, and this blanket term, but we're trying and we're pushing it forward. And it's communities like the one we have here, and being able to celebrate this on LinkedIn Live, and having partners like Wesco that can really support us and help us grow. And then, of course, our amazing team, Karen Benner, having Sean Sainamore, Mark Willie, Sai Safi, Adam White, Andrea Medcalf, Edie Dillman, Sneha Kumari, Joe Kanapaki. I think I got them all, and Adam White. I think I got them all. So
it's a
our
long
team,
list. You did a great job.
Thank you, Karen. It is a long list, and I'm so honored every day to be able to have all these different voices and all these amazing professionals that are really not only stewards, as Karen says, but also enthusiasts into doing something better and designing a world that we can make such an impact. My name's Audrey Grabesic. I'm the host. I'm the founder of Offsite Dirt, and I am seriously in love with this community. If there's anything we can do to help you create a solution, if there's a way that we can make an introduction, we're here for you. So Karen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It was great to see everybody again.
And Sean, same with you. Thank you for giving us a recap. We always like the information that you supply for us, and also your Instagram account on your 55. Why don't you just recap really quickly what that means, and then we're going to have you sign off.
Wow, yeah, it's been a big month of August. Mark and I, for 3 years, which is just crazy, we got together, and every Sunday we do the 5-day forecast where we provide kind of the amazing events that are occurring. So really, if you're lost, you go to the Offsite Dirt events page. That gives you everything. But if you want some enthusiasm, hang out with Mark and I. Typically, we have Chris and Aaron join us where we break down 5 days events of high performance that's happening out there in the world, and we're happy to bring it down to you to make sure that you know what's going on, and you can bring out your agendas and make sure you can record all these amazing events that are happening, because sometimes new ones pop up and we can't load them up fast enough on the events page. We're doing our best to make sure we have all of the amazing events, but sometimes there's just new ones that pop up. This is why we collaborate and connect with people, but it's pretty crazy. Yeah, 3 years that Mark and I have been providing the 5-day forecast.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for being here on another LinkedIn Live. We will look forward to seeing you next month, October, for it will be October 11th. I'll be just getting back from Bali, so I'll have so many exciting things to tell you about the international market and how I see it out there. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being in our community. And don't forget, collaborate, connect, and gather. Let's do it. Thanks so much for being here.